was at the Iceberg Lounge. What are you saying, Kinsey Moon Knights with a penguin? All right, Moon, let's just go.
I panicked. I didn't know which one to hit.
Well, that's a good start.
I mean, it seems appropriate.
I was looking for. I don't think we have any little intros that have any kind of Mother Day connotation. So I was like, all right, I panicked. So I just hit that one.
What's the next holiday? Father's Day?
Well, that was going to be my first question. And let me say, welcome to the Next Issue podcast. Once again, streaming on a holiday. Is this one also owned by Disney? Some would say yes. Because the last 3 weeks that we've streamed, it's been on a holiday for a property, and Star Wars Day, Aliens Day, Simpsons Day. So like all those are now owned by the Walt Disney Corporation.
I mean, Disney is associated with dead mothers.
Yeah, for sure. Like I feel like they went the other way instead of celebrating them.
It's counter programming.
It's really
counter programming Mother's Day.
Yeah, how is Bambi celebrating today?
I wonder how much of it is. It's gonna be really hard to make this story work if there's an actual adult that's taking over, like that's looking over this child. Let's just get rid of the mom, right?
Yeah, get that Dumbo mom out of there.
A lot of manga and anime do this, where like the parents are nowhere to be seen, so that so the kids can go fight God or whatever they need to do, right?
Superpowers.
Wait, so does that make Dumbo a manga? Are Dumbo and Bambi mangas?
Yeah, maybe they could be.
No, you see Dumbo's mom when she's swinging him, when she's inside the train and he's outside. That's the one time I think you see his mom, right? But you don't.
Yeah, but she gets taken. But
she gets taken
in the most heart-wrenching scene.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Are we pitching?
They're like trunks intertwined and then pull apart as she gets pulled away.
Right. Oh fuck.
Are we pitching a Dumbo's Taken scenario here, where Dumbo grows up and he's like
Liam Neeson as Dumbo. Operation Dumbo Retrieve.
Operation Dumbo Drop. No, wait, no, I think that's already taken.
That's already taken.
Okay. Well, to quickly acknowledge Mother's Day,
I have a set of particular skills. They involve giant ears and flying and killing you.
And flying with a magical feather.
Yeah.
That I got from my racist friends. I guess they were
Mother's Day.
Their portrayal was racist.
Yeah.
Their friends, the crows themselves weren't racist.
It was just the movie producers. It was just
the context. Yeah. It was the context of the crows. All right. So what I wanted to start with, and I put this on our chat. I wanted to ask you to give me. Did I say top three?
Top three. But I even have an honorable mention. So.
Sure. So give me, and Clay seems very ready. So we'll probably start with him. Top three mothers in I don't know, pop culture or whatever. Like whatever mothers you want to talk about.
Without these mothers, things wouldn't be possible. And the first mother I want to celebrate, Pamela Voorhees.
Oh,
she believed in her son so much he was able to go to space.
Damn, that's true.
True. Very true.
I mean, yeah. She was the kind of the driving force in that first movie, right? In the
she is the force of the first movie. She makes the magic happen for Jason. Yep. Then he comes back. He's bigger and better. He's badder, and then he goes to space. It's all because of a mother's love.
Yep, I agree. I like that. That's a good choice.
Do you want my next one, or are we going to go round table?
Jeff, do you have one ready?
I do have one. I like.
Yeah, we'll do. So third, whatever, and then we have honorable mentions. We can go at the end. So go ahead, Jeff.
I'm going to go with Wilma Flintstone. She had to put up with Fred. She's a pioneer in the mom industry, both in animation and because she's a cave woman. She she walked that fine line of being a woman of the, I guess, negative 10 millions or whatever
Yeah,
of her time, but she was still a pioneer in feminism, you know.
I
So
agree.
yeah, Wilma.
Well, my number three is someone who went above and beyond for his children and did whatever she had to protect them or make more too. The Alien Queen. Talk about mothering, right? She I don't know exactly the relationship between Ripley and her. It was between Ripley and the alien mother. I just figured the alien mother
They
they
butted heads.
yeah. I almost feel like they were co-parenting. You know? You love to see when two families kind of come together Brady Bunch style, but in space where no one can hear you scream. So all right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to the next one, Clay.
All right. This one is a classic. Norma Louise Bates, mother of Norman Bates, who left such a traumatic impression that she continued to live on in his mind.
Oh, man,
Happy Mother's Day to Norma Louise Bates.
You know what? That woman's hair was always on point.
It was. And I mean, if you think about it, it was one Hitchcock movie that inspired a sequel 2 decades later, then inspired a series just about her. So really, what a super mom of horror.
Portrayed by, was it Vega Farmiga, right?
Yes.
I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Which we just saw this week. I don't know if you got the quick tangent, which I guess she's also a mother. The Conjuring Last Rites trailer dropped this week.
I did see, yeah, that's
it looks
happening.
very scary, and I will not be watching that at the theaters. I'll wait for that to come to my house. I am not going into a dark room when that man is telling you, don't touch anything in this room. Even the toys are not toys. They will all kill you. Also, when are we getting the movie about the samurai armor in that basement?
That seems ripe for the picking, man. Like,
I'm just
you
saying,
keep
like, it
seeing
feels
it.
like a missed opportunity if you don't do it. Because it could be like a Conjuring film, like set in feudal Japan that starts there, right? And then
And you just follow the history of it, where it's been, where it goes, and how it ends up there.
Yeah.
It's the oldest piece. It's got to be the oldest piece they have in there, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
They should do an anthology TV show where we just find out about all the things in that basement that they have kept.
Did you ever see Friday the 13th, the series?
No, I don't think
there
so.
was a series that was Friday the 13th, but it had nothing to do with Jason, and it was just them collecting objects like that. That was like the whole, they had these cursed objects that they collected. I don't know why they kept the name. Yeah.
All right. Back to mothers. Jeff, who's your next mother?
For different reasons, I'm gonna go Lorelai Gilmore.
Hello.
Whoa.
Yeah. She, has a kind of a spoiled brat of a kid, but she's easy on the eyes. And she lives in a small, humble New England town with a bunch of quirky people. And low-key rich. I mean, you have to wait for her parents to die, but she's gonna inherit all that money.
I can see why that guy stuck around with his backwards hat on.
Right, exactly.
She had that
eventually she's gonna get it.
I have never seen the Gilmore Girls, so I don't know any of this, but I thought she dated a guy on the show that ran a diner.
She does. She dates Luke. First off, I can't believe you've never seen Gilmore Girls.
Yeah. People keep saying I would like it. Like, it has my kind of humor. So
yeah, and I figure your wife is somebody who is probably like obsessed with it. It just all half price books people have seen Gilmore Girls.
I think it's a requirement. Like when you interview.
Yeah. It's part of the training videos.
You get Gilmore Girl trivia. We're actually because Righteous Gemstones ended. She hadn't seen it, so that's our binge show of choice right now. Is Righteous Gemstones. I'll have to add in Gilmore Girls and see if she wants to watch it.
Yeah. Get back to us with that, because that's a curiosity for me now. Yeah, Gilmore Girls. It's a great show. It's I can't remember who the writer is. She's the same writer that writes Mrs. Mabel or whatever on Amazon. She's the stand-up, the marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Is that right? Am I alone here?
I think so. No, I think you're right.
Amy Sherman Palladino. That's her name.
Yes.
I had to reach deep into the memory banks for that. Anyway, Lorelai. God bless Lorelai.
Whenever I saw, because I knew the tone of Gilmore Girls, and then I watched the movie Bad Santa, I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
That's quite the range on this performance.
She does have a thing for old Saint Nick.
Yeah.
All right. Next one for me. This is a mother for sure, but it is somebody who is also so much more. Because there are like 17 titles that follow her name. And I'm talking about the one and only Daenerys Stormborn of House Targaryen, the first of her name, the unburnt Queen of Marine, Queen of the Andals and the First Men, Khaleesi of the Great Sea, Breaker of Chains, and then of course, Mother of Dragons.
Yes.
Without her, we would not have 6 fantastic seasons of Game of Thrones, and then a one very polarizing season at the end, which I don't have a problem with, but a lot of people do. So I won't make statements like that. I will say,
based on that final season, what kind of mother would she be?
What do you mean? She was a mother for like 7 seasons of these little dragons.
Yeah,
like
but
sometimes you have children, sometimes you adopt children, but family's family. Sometimes children are just gifted to you when you become the Khaleesi of the Great Grass Sea.
All
right, Clay, who's your next mother?
I'm gonna let you guys take a chance at guessing this one, because I'm not sure if you're gonna know this mother from this film, but it is played by Toni Collette.
I am good at charades. Oh,
Hereditary.
Yeah,
yes,
Hereditary mom?
Yes, Annie Graham from Hereditary, who, if she hadn't let her kids go out on their own and look out for each other, we wouldn't have this incredibly horrific movie that gives me nightmares. And Toni Collette rocks that role so hard that there are scenes that are seared into my brain of what happens in that film. I've only needed to see it once. I would revisit it again with people who haven't seen it, but Hereditary,
but only to watch their reaction, not so much to really rewatch the film.
That sawing scene, that one sawing scene.
Yeah.
Woo. Happy Mother's Day, Toni Collette.
When she's skittering around.
You have a whole Toni Collette.
Yeah.
You'd have a whole Toni Collette Mother's Day movie marathon between that and About a Boy.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense.
Oh, that's right. She's the mom there too. Yeah, Hereditary like seared into my brain, but I've also never watched it again.
Yeah, Little Miss Sunshine.
Yeah,
that's right.
You could have like a whole thing.
Perfect movie. Toni Collette's so great in that.
I'm sure she's a mom in those Transformers movies too. Is she Transformers? Yeah, she's in one of them, right?
She was in the Return of Xander Cage that I watched last week. So I don't know. She never talked about her family, but you never know.
Different franchise.
Yep. All right, Jeff. Who's your last mom before we get to honorable mentions?
I was going to say that I did initially have Pamela Voorhees on my list, and I was like, oh, I bet Clay did not disappoint.
But I noticed a trend with yours. You have very MILF themed moms on yours.
Well, and I was kind of like, when Danny put out the list, I'm like, I'll make them up on the spot, mom and pop culture. But then I was kind of like struggling to be like, well, do I want to pick that mom? But then when Danny picked Darganus, the Mother of Dragons, Targaryen, I was like, oh, who's a great mom? That's a terrible mom. Hamlet's mom, Gertrude. Like, her husband dies. She starts, she's like, okay, well, I'll just shack up with his brother. The brother's obviously the one that killed the husband, and Hamlet's like, Mom, what are you doing? And she's just like, whatever. Like, terrible mom, but I love her. We wouldn't have Hamlet without Gertrude.
We wouldn't have Lion King without her either.
That's true too.
All right, for my last pick, and I wasn't sure, so all I'm gonna say is Martha. You make with that what you will.
I'm gonna say Ma Kent then.
All right, let's listen. You go whichever way you feel like you need to go.
Because Ma Kent was around, and Batman's Martha is just
that wasn't
an inspiration.
Fault. That wasn't her fault.
Yes, I know. She's just the inspiration for him.
Yeah.
But I would also go Martha Kent, because in comics, that poor woman is like, she's raised Clark, she's raised Connor, she's raised, I think,
she's lost her
like all the super kids. But been brought back, and then multiple super people have stayed with them.
Yeah. I had Ma Kent on mine, and when I went to go like pull for like a screenshot of something, I forget Diane Lane was a Ma Kent, and that just makes me feel old as fuck. I mean, when I see her, I'm like, she's not 50.
Well, Marissa Tomei was an Aunt May, so
they come in all shapes and sizes. That's what she says.
Yeah, just as Mrs. Incredible.
That should have been the third one on your list, Jeff. That would have filled out.
Oh, listen, there's a longer list. It doesn't stop at just 3.
You got to go to the Patreon to get Jeff's full list.
We're going to have the Mother's Day after hours where we pick our top 3 thick moms.
All right. Well, do you guys have any honorable mentions?
I have an honorable mention from another great horror film, Amelia Vanek, the mother from the Babadook. If you've ever seen the Babadook and you see what she goes through, and that child, whoa. Good God.
Yeah.
Love the Babadook.
Hey, I like to think that she had a relatively happy ending. But I can't recall the end of the film, so I'm just going to leave that in my brain. Jeff, any honorable mentions?
No, I'm done with mothers.
All right, well, that's it.
It was going to be Mystique until.
Oh yeah, I guess
until
now
she became the father.
Until she became the father, but now she's going to get a mention on Father's Day.
Okay. Well, now I can be Destiny. I guess you can slot Destiny right in.
Yeah.
And Destiny's not as cool because she didn't throw Nightcrawler off the cliff.
Yes,
that's true.
Good for.
But she knew it was going to happen and didn't stop it.
Complicit.
So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Yeah. Quick shout out to 2 badass moms, Sarah Connor. Forever fighting the good fight.
Oh yeah.
And then
her.
Because I had to mention another comic, Alana from Saga, just another badass mom, also fighting the good fight. If Sarah Connor and Alana teamed up, they could do anything in the galaxy. Riding around in that rocket ship tree or whatever it's called. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Rocket ship tree.
All right, so that's enough about mothers. I hope if you're spending time with your mom, very nice. I want
to wait. Leave a comment if you're spending your time with your mom watching this podcast specifically.
Yeah,
because how weird is that? But hi, moms, if you're watching.
As of this live, we are like 10 people away from 4,000 subscribers. So have your mom subscribe to our podcast and leave us a comment.
Get your mom on the YouTubes.
That's right. We'll give her a shout out. We'll keep her away from Jeff.
Unless,
I guess unless
that could also be a stretch goal.
I don't like that phrasing. So
Jeff will date your mom.
Yeah, we're gonna pivot to payoff as always. Pay off that thumbnail that makes you click this video. And we won't go into spoilers because all 3 of us have now seen Thunderbolts, and Clay will talk a little bit about his non-spoiler experience when we get to all the other stuff. But we will have a full-on show. We're trying to get Josh to go watch it. Obviously, he's doing Mother's Day stuff as well. He said he's trying to.
He's the real Fast and Furious fan because he's always about family. He always drops us.
So
we keep telling him Thunderbolts is also about family.
But what I wanted to talk about this past Monday, 3 days after the official release of the movie. You know, I don't want to really count Thursday because the official release is Friday. Marvel drops what I think is maybe one of the biggest spoilers in the film. It feels like a very inconsequential spoiler, but I think it is important, and I wanted to discuss with you guys. So we're gonna spoil that piece of the movie because Marvel already did, and then we'll talk about why and how we feel about it. Marvel revealed that the asterisk on Thunderbolts was because they actually eventually become the new Avengers in the film. 3 days after their movie dropped in theaters, thoughts on what the hell's going on?
I honestly don't have a problem with it because I think that we live in everybody's on the internet now. There's going to be you have to work so hard to avoid spoilers if you are on social media. So I think that they know that it's going to get out there. You might if this is the gimmick that you we're doing, then the time to pull it off is after opening weekend. Mm-hmm. So you can't I'm sorry for all those people who are like, I'll go see it in 2 weeks or whatever, but that's just the way the marketing for this movie worked, kind of, I think, is how it goes.
They should have at least waited till Wednesday after, because a lot of people in the service industry, their weekend is actually Monday and Tuesday, right?
Yeah.
Because obviously the weekends are busy, so they can't get away to go watch a movie.
But I also think that there's even a bigger within the context, within the story of the movie, I feel like that asterisk still holds up, because there's still kind of a story behind what we all as comic book fans, we know why the comic book version of the Thunderbolts is called the Thunderbolts, but it's not the same for the MCU. So there's the asterisk I still feel has meaning, because I don't know if they were ever really called the Thunderbolts. Mm-hmm. So within the context of the movie, within that universe. So because that's one of the bits of the movie is what are they named?
Yeah, so I think at one time they say it, and that's it. There's a reference to them as a team, and they said we are the Thunder or the whatever.
Yeah,
the
they do the whole. They do the whole
in the trailer.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I feel like it's not that that big of a deal. I feel like most people are, even beforehand, most people were on the internet saying, "I bet it means this."
We were one of those people.
Yeah.
Months ago. Yeah. So,
I don't think it spoils that much.
Thoughts on your end?
I got spoiled on Reddit. Somebody didn't blur a picture where it said that New Avengers, but they also had photoshopped in Luke Cage and other people. So it gave me the impression that the end scene, or maybe the end of the movie, they become the Avengers with other people, and that was going to include Luke Cage, but obviously that was a Photoshop thing. But as far as it just them, the asterisk and then the New Avengers thing, I mean, it's kind of great advertisement for it, because then it makes people question it that don't really know anything about it, and then go, oh, well, is this an Avengers film?
Yeah, that's what Leonard Kim saying in the chat. He's fine with it because the movie can use all the marketing that it can get.
Yeah, and that's perfect, because I mean, these are all, supporting characters or less, these are all people from other movies, and I was excited to see what they were going to do with it. It's different. I love the way they worked the Thunderbolts name into the movie. I kind of thought that it was going to be a team for Thaddeus Ross, because I hadn't seen a Brave New World yet. So I went into Thunderbolts without any of the knowledge of what happens to him at the end of the film. So I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I've seen the big ad out in Hollywood where they had the Thunderbolts Wheaties ad. Then the Thunderbolts title on the ad comes off and it says the New Avengers. And then now I think Stitch is crawling through the ad, and now it's just it's just a Disney ad on top of an ad on top of an ad. So
Reed Richards will like stretch around Stitch's neck at some point and yank him off the poster. And
yes.
Oh, can you imagine if the Thing and Stitch team up? I do want to comment a little bit.
Hold out for Secret Wars.
Clay mentioned Luke Cage, and I think one of the reasons people did that was because going back to Brian Michael Bendis' New Avengers, when that title first came out back in 2005, Jesus, that was 20 years ago. The roster originally was comprised of Luke Cage, Steve Rogers, Captain America, Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Spider-Woman, who was later revealed to be Arachne, the Queen of the Skrulls.
The Skrull, yeah.
And then later on included Wolverine, Sentry, which is makes sense for this film, Echo, and then also Ronin, because Barton was going through his emo phase at the time. So one of the things. I mean, I also agree with you guys. I don't have a problem with it. I think it's a spoiler that doesn't ruin the film in any way itself, as far as like, if anything, maybe like then the end credit stuff, maybe a little bit, but it's only an inclination, and a lot of people, that's what we were theorizing anyways.
I also think we need to like reframe what the word spoiler means. Like, spoiler is Bruce Willis was dead all along. Like,
what?
Spoiler is I am your father, Luke, I am your father. Like that, those are spoilers. Like the Avengers turning their names into Thunderbolts. But like, I feel like that's not necessary. That's kind of a plot point, kind of, but not like it's within the context of the bigger MCU in mass, not necessarily one for the movie.
I see your point, because it makes sense, because I mean, you can call anyone you could have had the Guardians end on Earth and call them the New Avengers, and everybody be like, what, why do that? But I don't really feel like, to me, the biggest spoiler that Marvel ruined was the Doomsday announcement, where they put all the Thunderbolts except for one on the chairs, and so you kind of was like,
so that's a spoiler.
That's a spoiler. Somebody's not making it out, or something else is going to happen to him, but they dealt with it pretty quick.
Just a quick update. It's actually Captain America Bucky Barnes in the New Avengers, because Steve was I think dead at the time.
Dead. Yeah.
No, it was Steve originally, and then
it was Steve, and then when he died, Bucky took over.
Bucky took over.
Should I pull out my books for reference?
Listen, it's all up here. I got it.
All right. Good. Leonard Kim in the chat, 100% agreed. Them becoming the New Avengers isn't the main point of the movie. I don't know if you call it a beat. Yeah, it's really, it's kind of like the result of how to tie it up in a neat little box to move forward, right?
Yeah. So,
cool.
I mean, it is an interesting, because now the post-credit scene, because I feel like the post-credit scene adds even more than just the name change, because it kind of folds in the bigger universe at large.
I can't believe they put him on a Wheaties box. Oh, that's not what we're talking about.
Do we want to talk any details of the post-credit scene, or are we keeping spoiler free?
No, let's save it for the show. Let's save it for the big show, because we're gonna get into that. I'll tell you what. Whenever we cover Thunderbolts, it's probably just gonna be only Thunderbolts discussion. I don't think we'll get a chance. We'll have time to talk about any of the other stuff that we normally do.
Yeah, I loved every character's kind of growth through that, and seeing them at the end scene. Like I kind of enjoying US Agent a lot. Like just seeing him have more, like taking him out of the context of what the TV show, the
Falcon Winter Soldier.
Falcon Winter Soldier, and just giving him the most important lines he needs to really define his character and move his character forward in here, which was great. Like I just really enjoyed him a hell of a lot more in this.
Well, this is a nice segue into what we've been doing and previously on. So, Clay, you want to continue along, talk a little Thunderbolts, and what's on your list, and then whatever else you watch?
Yeah, I got to finally go to the theater this year, and so Thunderbolts was awesome. I had another terrible experience at the Alamo, and I hate that. I hate that the Alamo, like, I don't think there's, like, we went on a Wednesday night. There were maybe 20 people in the theater, and we just had a problem getting food that we ordered. So it was just like, I don't know if they just keep them really low staffed or if this guy was working a couple of theaters, but it was just a bummer with the service. But and they also turned up the lights during the credits, even though there were going to be in credit scenes, which they used to always just dim the lights until all the scenes were done, right? Yeah, so people got up and had left before they saw the end of the end credit scenes, but that may just be their choice.
Yeah. I did have that similar thing happen last. Oh, I don't know what movie I was watching. The last one I watched, maybe The Account too, where I order something and it never came, but they didn't charge me for it, so I'm thinking they just forgot. But I mean, as long as I didn't,
it's always weird because you write it down for them.
Yeah. I don't know if it was
one thing I don't like about the Alamo. I'm like, I feel like they should have a concession stand for popcorn and drinks, like because it drives me nuts that I'm like, the movie started and I have nothing, and it makes me anxious to wait for something while I'm watching the movie, and especially if I try to get there late, but sometimes I'll go with friends and they're more like, we'll show up right as the movie's kind of starting, and I'm like, not at the Alamo. Then you get your food and stuff like halfway through the movie. Like, you got to get there early, put the order in early, so you have it by the time the movie starts.
And you also miss out on the cool stuff they put before the movie.
Yeah, we got there for that, and so it was neat because they were playing like the video from the movie Mannequin by Starship, that song that I was like, why are they playing this? And then when you get to see Thunderbolts, you see why.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I enjoyed that part of the Alamo. I love like the little teaser stuff. They had like early interviews with Stan Lee playing. They had all kinds of really just cool shit that was fun.
I love the intro with the David Harbour and Florence Pugh and Julia Louis-Dreyfus, where David Harbour goes off script.
Yes. Yeah, that was fun. Just telling everyone just to be quiet, turn off your phones, enjoy the movie.
Nice.
But I had an absolute fun. Like, that's what Thunderbolts was for me, was just a fun movie that had, I'm a huge David Harbour fan, so I loved Red Guardian. Everything he did was great. This guy who's just this failure of a dad who really obviously means a lot to Yelena and their relationship. I really loved those moments of them together and just her kind of rising to become the team leader. Like, her really pushing, the choices of which way they're going to go and which and what they're going to do. I wanted more Ghost. I thought she was a great character. And her updated design looked really cool. I love the old mask. The new mask is kind of cool, but like the rest of the costume was really good.
They did a good job.
Yeah, and like I said, U.S. Agent, man, just getting better and better. And I just kind of curious, like, I want to see the movie where we have a U.S. Agent and a Captain America, that are just so very different from what Steve was.
They still point at each other, though.
They still point at each other, and I want to see, like, now that they're like, the way the movie ends, what does that mean for each member? Because like when see Captain America, you see Sam gets an upgrade. So does this Avengers team get an upgrade? What does U.S. Agent get? What does and what are we going to do about Bob? Like, he's just
what about Bob?
Yeah, so like, I'm very curious, like, how
obviously Bob is recruited by Top Gun, and then he goes to fly planes. So
that's right.
And I will say this: I was very hard on Pullman, the actor that plays Sentry. I was very hard on him for the Salem's Lot film that I saw that had just been reduced down to nothing, because that is just a great book with better versions of the film, and so he was just great as Bob. Like, his insecurities, just the way he carried himself as Sentry, like those moments. And man, did we have like one of the best kind of, I'm going to call it a Superman moment in there, when he does the full Sentry and just takes the team out, like in front of Valentina. Like, that moment was very Superman and very kick-ass. So I was just like, holy shit! Like this is great. They're really doing him right. I just really kind of don't have any complaints other than I wanted more. I wish I hadn't been spoiled on Taskmaster. And how is this balance between at the end, like Valentina and the team? Like, what does this mean? Because I always held her character in the comics as like a Nick Fury, like almost like that level of spy knowledge. Like she always is like a few steps ahead of everyone. And I feel like her character was kind of not that at the end. So I hope that she kind of gets back to that position while running the Avengers.
Yeah, well, when we do our full show, we'll do like predictions and like kind of where we want to see the characters go forward and all that. So
yeah,
that should be a fun discussion because there's a lot to dig into, I think, from this film.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. Then I was lucky enough to come home and see Brave New World, which was okay. I mean, it's tough because it wanted to be, I feel like, a spy movie in the same level of like Winter Soldier, but just didn't have the same elements.
Yeah.
It had the most incredible fight scenes.
Sorry, I did get lost because you're talking Captain America, and I was thinking the Aldous Huxley like book, and you're like, and the fight scenes, and I was like, fight scenes.
Yes, he wrote the incredible
in the book they don't do the knife drop. Bucky's famous knife drop.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know, like it's really tough because I want to compare it, which is dumb. I shouldn't want to compare one movie to another. It should just stand alone. But I felt like I knew I knew Thunderbolt Ross and what was going to happen to him because we see it in all the trailers and everything. Right. So it was like, I didn't really feel like I got anything new or different with that. Like I kind of knew what was going to happen. I got spoiled on what the leader looked like. But then I saw that they had actually done some mock-ups of his big head, like in the comics, and it didn't look great.
Yeah, that one's a hard one to capture, I think.
Yeah, there's one shot of the leader that defined it for me that I was like, okay, this is a perfect choice because you see a shot of the leader from the top of his head and it just looks like his brain is growing through it. So you see the wrinkles and stuff through the top of his head and it's just like so good.
Yeah.
I really feel like we kind of had some wasted villains. Stearns had great speeches and he's a great actor. But you know, I don't know. There were moments I was just kind of like, it didn't pull me in the entire time.
It's tough because we saw Baron Zemo do the same thing, but way better, I feel, right? Because he did it to all the Avengers. Whereas this guy's just doing it to Thunderbolt Ross. He doesn't even care about Sam. He starts going after Sam after Sam gets in the way of his plans. But he was never like going after Captain America or anything like that, or Isaiah Bradley or anything. I think my two MVPs, and we haven't really talked about this movie much, but to me, Isaiah Bradley, him and also Thunderbolt Ross, like those two characters really stand out in the film because they have great performances behind them.
Yeah.
And I wish I had seen more of Isaiah Bradley's character and just kind of like what he's been through. So yeah, very cool. It's a messy movie, but it's still entertaining enough, I think.
And I finally know the Happy Meal I got. I know who Ruth is. This is actual size. She is this tiny.
Yeah.
That really caught me off guard a lot. The actress in there just being so small, but when she has that hallway fight, I was like, okay, that's badass. I totally enjoy that. And she carries herself with fucking confidence, like she's 6'8", and she's like pocket size, and she just walks through those halls like I'm in fucking charge.
Yeah. She should be recast as Wolverine.
Brave New World, though, I don't know. I'll probably watch it again, but I think you're right. Like Isaiah Bradley is like the best in that. Like I think that, and I also had a problem with the new Falcon, just kind of his background being in the military, following now Cap for like 3 years. his disrespect to Isaiah Bradley when they get in the gym, like he's like some sort of punk kid talking to this guy, was just, I don't know. I know he's supposed to be young.
Gen Z for you, Clay. They ain't got no respect.
No respect for the first Captain America. So yeah, that
he learned quick.
Yeah.
Young punks.
Let's see here. Black Bag. Have you guys watched Black Bag yet?
Oh yeah, it's
shit.
Like top 5 movies of this year for me so far.
Have you seen it, Jeff?
I haven't seen it yet. I know it's streaming on something.
I think it's on Peacock now.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
Peacock? Okay.
Talk about confident women. Cate Blanchett in that movie, man. Like, holy shit, she is a bad. I've never seen a woman who just so much charisma. Like, god damn. And then to have Magneto, Fassbender just more subdued. Like, but just be the smartest guy in the room. Like, incredible performances, incredible story. It's interesting because it's like, I love spy movies where you just see like beautiful people doing cool, evasive shit, to each other and stuff. This is really a movie that you can watch on the small screen. Like, I hate to kind of like downplay that it couldn't be a theater release, but it's done so well and tightly woven. And the way the characters are, we're not talking like some, global problem like we have in James Bond. We're talking about a small problem within the intelligence community in this film. And that's what really works. And the opening dinner scene.
Oh my god, that could have been the whole movie for me, Clay.
Yeah. I forget the actress that plays Moneypenny, that she's in it, but she was also in 28 Days Later. She's great. She plays the psychologist that everyone sees, which is insane that all these people have to see the same psychologist, including her husband. But Black Bag, highly recommend. Mark and I are going to talk about it on our show later this afternoon.
Clay, what is it? Marisa Abella, who plays one of the analysts that helps Fassbender do some shit.
Yeah.
And David Johnson, who was Andy in Romulus. They're both in a show called Industry on HBO.
Okay.
So if you like their performances, they bring it to the show. Like this show, like Industry, it's pretty intense, but it's real. Like they are, like the whole cast is just really good.
Okay, I haven't even heard of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's HBO has so much stuff going on that I can see why you want to see it. But also Ken Leung is in it. You probably know he was in Lost and stuff like that. So like,
yeah,
the whole cast is great. So if you need another show to watch once the Gemstones is done, it's a very different tonally. But if you like those performers, like from all those things you've seen them, because I saw her and I was like, oh, this is gonna be like, I know Michael Fassbender and I know the cast is already great, but like she's also in it, so she's gonna be,
Fassbender in this was very similar to his performance in The Killer. Like I don't know how a guy carries himself in different ways. Like he goes from like when you see him as Magneto and a guy who walks into the room who's fucking in charge to this guy who just is like so quiet as he moves and just you don't even know he's there at times. He just his posture and everything about him is just pulled back. He's so goddamn good, man.
Yeah, it's crazy that Soderbergh directed this film, and then he also directed the Presence movie, the one that's like from the point of view of the ghost. So like the which that one I think I was not as critically well received, but like but then he shows you like I still got it, I can still do this, like so yeah, it's great. God, Jeff, it's 90 minutes long too, like it's quick and concise, perfect. It's I think that one, Sinners and Thunderbolts are like right now in my top 3 of this year for movies.
I really want to watch it again just to see like any of the details I missed, but it is definitely
now that know everything that's going on, like going back to redo it.
Yeah. That's what makes it worth is once you get to the end and you realize everything and then you go back through. Oh shit. It's just, I haven't seen a spy movie this good in a while. And it was so hard because I had watched this and then went into Brave New World and wanted a spy level that good. But I was like, I'm not going to get a spy level that good in a comic book movie. But I was like, but Winter Soldier was good. Like I want that. Like the bar
reminds me a little bit of is it the Spy Games, the Robert Redford movie with Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
But that one, but it's like on a way smaller scale, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the intrigue and the all the cool spy stuff, like it's very similar to that vibe.
Yeah, and again, I go back to Blanchett and Fassbender, just when they engage with each other as co-workers and as a couple, just her, like they get into this where they're about to have sex and her dirty talk is, would you kill for me? And that's the way it starts. And I was just like, man. And
then everyone at the theater just says yes at the same time.
Oh God.
That was my screening. Yeah.
You'd start call out. I saw that you saw The Accountant too, so I went back and rewatched The Accountant again, and god damn that. Woo! Again, another guy who kind of pulls everything back. Ben Affleck plays this guy who's just a lot more reserved than any of his other characters, who are just bold and out there and in charge. I mean, this is his reverse Batman. No mask, a badass seeking justice, but he's just very subdued. He's just
absolute Batman. That's
absolutely
good at spreadsheets.
Yeah. And I want to see the sequel because, him and Barathol have more scenes together than they do in the first one. Damn.
Finally, a movie about accountants. I feel seen.
Does your whole department just have these posters up?
We all watch it together once a quarter.
And then, and after, talking really well about all these movies, I saw Freaky Tales and absolutely loved it. Holy crap.
Okay. That's a Pedro Pascal movie, right?
Yes.
Great.
It is the weirdest thing, but it is perfect. Like, we put it on with no idea what it was, and I'm not going to talk about it any more than it's my recommendation of the week. It has Pedro Pascal in it. It is an anthology with 4 stories in it, and it takes place in Oakland in 1987 and has one of the best mixtape soundtracks ever. Because as we watched it, Shelby knew music. She's like, oh, I remember that from my punk days. And then they were playing Too Short. And I was like, I knew all the words to the Too Short songs that were in the movie. And I was just like, this is so weird. But it was like great weird. It was so fun and nothing you expect. And Freaky Tales. That's all I'm going to say.
All right. All right. Jeff, what did you watch?
I only watched one thing worth reporting this week. I got a ticket. Speaking of the Alamo, the Alamo will sometimes do these mystery movies. You just buy a ticket, unseen to know. You just go and watch the movie.
Yeah.
So I did that this past Monday, and the movie I saw was Jane Austen Wrecked My Life, which is a French-ish film that's coming out at the end of this month. It is about a young woman who lives in France.
Wait, the Alamo or AMC?
Huh?
The Alamo or AMC? Or are they both
Alamo.
doing it? Oh,
yeah,
okay. Because AMC does something similar. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Alamo. Yeah, so she works in a little French bookstore. She has a situationship with one of her coworkers, who ends up entering her into this writing retreat. Like he steals one of her manuscripts and submits it into this place where she ends up winning a scholarship to a Jane Austen fellowship, where she gets to go write on Jane Austen's like estate or something like that. And it's a rom-com-y kind of love story, but yeah, it was weird because I didn't know what I was going to go see. And I just knew it was a movie that was coming up. So I was like, oh, and it ended up being this weird, it was really not weird. It was just this, French rom-com. It was very cute. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I liked it a lot.
Oh, nice.
A lot of subtitles. And I think I speak a little bit of French now.
Oui.
Yeah.
I hear French and Italian all the time when I go to the office because there's a lot of people from our company's U.S., Italian, and French. So like, there's a lot of people that just moved here. All right, let me talk about the stuff I watch real quick. We'll have a quick segue and then go into comics. Don't worry, I'll handle it. So, as you guys know, Final Reckoning is almost here. The last Mission Impossible until Paramount decides like, oh, we need more money.
One more.
Yeah. So I've been watching because one of the podcasts I listen to, shout out to the 70mm podcast, they're doing Mission Impossible. So this month they're covering they're covering Mission Impossible movies, including, and then they'll finish the month with the new one. So I watched Mission Impossible 2. That's the John Woo film. I think
Are they
visually,
first off? They're not streaming like together in one place, are they?
I think
I've always had a hard time finding them all.
I've been
They're
watching
all
them all in Prime Video, so I don't know. Like
Paramount should have them.
I would think
But
Paramount would also have them.
I would.
So
You
far,
would think.
so far, so far all the ones that I've seen, Prime Video has them. So
Okay.
yeah,
Like just open, not for like you have to go rent them.
yeah, I don't have to pay extra. Well, I don't know. I'll have to check my credit card, I guess. But no, yeah.
Sometimes Prime will just be like, "Oh yeah, you could just probably you could watch this."
They even have those stylized posters where it's all red and it's just like the MI 1, 2, 3, like yeah. So
I haven't looked lately, but like a couple of times a year I'll go and be like, I've missed like the last couple. I think. And so I'm like, well, I need to, and I know they're all tethered together now. So I'm kind of like, I need a refresher. The last one I genuinely remember is the Brad Bird one.
Oh,
the Ghost Protocol.
So that's 4, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
And so what is this, 7 that's about to come out?
There are 7, and this should be the 8.
Can
8. So I'm like, I need 4 movies to watch.
Can anyone tell me the plot to one Mission Impossible film?
You pull off the head. And
it seems it's every time there's a mission, there's always a mole inside. Then they have to figure out who that is, and that's like, I know for sure it's the first 3 films that there's somebody inside that's evil.
Yeah. So yeah, I watched Mission Impossible 2, which I like it visually. I think the story is just very messy. Like Tandy Newton, great though. She's fantastic in the role.
She's always great.
This was peak 2000, so like maybe the height of her power. I don't know. Maybe Westworld was that. Maybe that was Westworld, but yeah, that was very interesting. I love the stupid motorcycle fight at the end. I think it's fun, and I love that they let Tom Cruise grow his hair out, because in the first one, like, I was like, "What's going on with your hair, buddy?" But yeah, you can even tell by this point, like, like Tom Cruise is executive producer in these movies and all that. So that was really interesting. And then I watched Mission Impossible 3. That's the one with Philip Seymour Hoffman that J.J. Abrams directed.
Philip Seymour Hoffman in that.
It's really good. That one I like way more than Mission Impossible 2. That one, like Clay was saying, they all kind of have the similar plot. Whereas the second one has like an evil version of Tom Cruise trying to like being the villain, like somebody that was disavowed earlier on.
Yeah.
And then what was funny, that the second one has kind of the plot to Hobbs and Shaw, because she injects the Chimera virus in her system to destroy it. Right, she was gonna kill herself to destroy it, and then they have like 48 hours to like get the cure,
and she becomes.
And Hobbs and Shaw was the same thing, where Mr.
Idris Elba,
fantastic, put the virus in herself, and then they have to go to Samoa to fix her, right? So I thought that was really funny that Hobbs and Shaw just went like, "Hey, you know that nobody talks about Mission Impossible 2. Let's just do that." Because I didn't even remember. I had seen it before then. I've seen this series at least once, all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mission Impossible 3 is great. Like that's when the stunts really heighten it's more globetrotting. That one I remember the ending very vividly when they're in China. And then he has to like fry his brain. But I don't remember the beginning where Kerry Russell's in this movie.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa, like she should have kept going. Why didn't she get a spinoff?
The Americans.
Yeah, I guess kind of the Americans.
Yeah,
That's her
someone saw that and
prequel.
said she can rock this.
Yeah, they also have, obviously he's doing the double life because Tom Cruise gets married in the third one, and it's all about like rescuing his wife. But now
Is that the one with the team where they finally put a team together and he's hanging out? This
one, yeah, Vince Rain's back for 3. What's his name?
Wait, don't they put a team together in all of them?
Yeah, but the team sticks after 3, I think.
Yeah, Ving Rhames shows up again, and
Benji, what's his name? Simon Pegg comes on board in 3.
That's when I got more interested when Simon Pegg showed up.
Yeah, and then this morning I started watching Ghost Protocol, but then my brother showed up, so I had to pause it, and I'm actually in the middle of the film. This one's the one that he has to infiltrate the Kremlin, and then it blows up, and you see Tom Cruise just running and get thrown about. But then once again, this one also starts with, I think, is it James Holloway, the guy from Lost that was Sawyer? Do you remember?
Yeah.
He's a spy that gets killed at the beginning of the movie, and then
is the one where Ethan's in prison and he has to escape prison?
Yeah, he's in the Russian prison and he has to escape, and then they have the cool sequence with the screen at the Kremlin, where they mimic. Yeah, this one's really good. I remember this one a lot more vividly. So I think from here on, I'm gonna remember the movies a little bit more because they have the bigger stunts and So I'm gonna try to watch Fallout and I remember the 5th one, and then Dead Reckoning again.
So I think after 4, so 5, 6, 7, I think all the rest are Christopher McQuarrie.
Those are McQuarrie films, correct? Yeah. Correct. Yeah, this is the Brad Bird. And then from here, he was like, "Let me go do The Incredibles."
Yeah. And then it became like the stunt movie. Like it just became like, what stunts he gonna do and get bigger
what's
and bigger.
The crazy thing that's gonna happen. So I'm excited though. The only thing I'm a little wary of is that at the end of the year, Tom Cruise is gonna be like my top actor on Letterboxd. So that might be unfortunate. I'm gonna have to offset that. I think I might need to watch some Gerard Butler movies because he's probably the second closest right now. Because I watched the Pantera, the Den of Thieves movies, and one more of his. So he's at 3 movies right now. But I'm very excited for those. So, all right.
I've been tempted to watch Den of Thieves because you've been raving about it.
The first one is really good. The second one, I think, if you enjoy the first one, you might also like it. But it's a little bit different. It's more like a heist movie. Whereas the first one's just
I enjoy a good heist.
And whereas the first one's more like cops versus robbers, but what if the cops are also bad? So it's cool. It's really cool. And then they're just badass. All right, before we get into comics though, just real quick, did you guys check out that Peacemaker season 2 trailer?
I'm not.
Yes.
Actually.
You haven't seen it, Jeff?
Oh, I saw like a clip, and I was like, I need to remember to go back to watch it, and I still haven't had a chance to do it.
Let's
watch it real quick. Let's watch it real quick since Jeff hasn't seen it. We'll watch it quick, and then we'll talk about comics and get out. I told the guys this is.
I was going to say I have some. While you're pulling that up, if you want me to share, I've been painting, and I was just going to share some stuff while you're pulling that up.
Yeah, let me put you on the big screen, Clay. There you go. Well, this one. There we go. Oh, you have you're sharing it. Okay.
Yeah. Dang it. There we go. Yeah.
Hey, cool.
I wanted to do a Jeff like Jaws because I had seen some parody posters of, Jeff the Land Shark, and I had gotten the Marvel United figs to do a painting for Common Grounds. They have like painting contests, and I never finished it in time, but this was one of the ones I was going to enter, and I went ahead and did a Lego poster for him.
That's really cool.
I did a repaint on a Baymax. Like I have a
Baymax.
bunch of those Disney Infinity figures I'm doing repaints on. And so I just took some Neon Genesis Evo 1 inspiration and did a repaint.
That's what it would look like if it was like an Evo Baymax, because they usually change the the color scheme to secondary colors.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think about that. This is a stitch I did. Of course,
dude, you should post that stitch when the movie comes out.
Like an evil one.
Yeah,
I was kind of inspired. I kind of wanted to do like a Hellboy version, and I was just like, I'm just gonna make him evil. And of course, my love of MODOK. And then this is just some stuff I've been working on. I'm doing a repaint on Ultron. I have another MODOK I bought that I'm working on. I actually just spilled a lot of copper paint, so that's why these two are really copper. This is the Disney Infinity figure from Tron, and it just I was just
cool.
like, I'll just do a lot of copper on it.
Well, funny enough, the new Tron looks like red's gonna be a big color on it too, so kind of nailed it.
Yeah, I've been trying to put red on it, but it just kind of goes too much with the copper, so I may try to do blue on it.
We need to get you
and
some
then I've got
the dark paint.
Yeah, I've got like a Wookiee I'm trying to do that's not so much a Chewbacca here in the background, and a Darth Maul repaint with, because Darth Maul's always in black, and I was like, is there any other color that I could do? And like I've seen some green Jedi robes, and that's the only other thing I thought, oh well, maybe that'll work. But yeah, that's just some stuff I've been painting and working on.
Oh yeah, those look cool, man. Very, very cool. All right,
aliens that are going to be on this Justice League team.
Give us the Nord, give us the Noid, give us anything. Great. All right, well, that's a good segue into comics, because Peacemaker's in the comics, and I think
I didn't watch it on purpose just for this moment.
We even see a Peacemaker maybe in one of the comics this week. Jeff, do you want to kick us off with the comics, and I'll jump on in as needed.
Just real quick, I did buy these alternate covers, these variant covers that I just happened to see. This is from Detective 1096, but I just love the colors, and I like the Batman's butts hanging out in Gotham. I thought it was really funny.
That's a funny way to climb a building. Oh,
wow!
I love when they do stuff like that with the color just blending into the.
Who is the artist that does those?
So there's somebody that does them like that, but that's the Dan Panosian. It's not.
Yeah, that's a different one.
Oh, okay,
but I know who you're thinking of. But
that artist does Marvel. I think they do more Marvel covers, right? Yeah.
Because Dan's the Barbarian, right? The on Twitter. Okay.
Yeah. I picked up It's Jeff Summer Week, Jeff Week or whatever. Number 1 by Kelly Thompson and Guy Gurahiru. Anyway, great stuff. This is from the Marvel Unlimited stuff that they like, the web comic that they do. This is just the collected version of that, but it's like a bunch of comic strips with Jeff the Land Shark. They're super cute,
It's interesting to see how they put those in a comic, because those are the ones that are made for you to kind of just scroll up, right?
Yeah.
So having to rework it, the paneling to like fit in a comic book page, like that's very, very. I find that very interesting. Yeah. It may not be, but I find it very interesting.
It didn't work for. There's a Scotty Young one they did, and I bought the physical copy, and it worked better as the motion one. It was just a better digital.
Yeah, some of them do. Yeah. So,
I mean, these just read like normal comic strips that you would find in a newspaper. I feel like so. Yeah. Black Canary, Best of the Best, number 6, the final issue of this. Man, the Ryans took art throughout this whole thing. It was just fantastic.
Hold on, I got that one somewhere here in the pod.
Also, I like that we get confirmation that Black Canary is still wearing the blonde wig. I never know if that's canon or not.
I got the Belen Ortega variant.
That's a nice cover.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I just binged this weekend.
The whole thing?
This one finally came out. Yeah, because I read the first one, and I was like, oh, you're just gonna do rounds each episode. I mean, each issue. Okay, I'll just come back when it's done, Tom King. And then this
I bet it reads better all together than it did separately, but I had the hardest time fighting through. They have 2 announcers, like fighting announcers, that act kind of as the set dressing for each issue. and they go back and forth, and it is just the most. I think Tom King must hate boxing announcers because they're the worst part of the comic.
Oh my apple pie.
Yeah, it's so
That's the
it's such
catchphrase.
stilted language that they use.
It feels like the old school announcers, like, you know, Rocky One stuff. So,
but I do like, yeah, I don't think this is a Black Label. I don't know how canon it necessarily is, but I do like that we are, and I know that I feel like DC's about to come out with a new history of DC, kind of by Mark Waid and I think Javier Rodriguez. I think kind of like they did for Marvel, but I feel like DC's kind of like solidified. Like they've kind of been in nebulous since New 52 ended and Rebirth and all that stuff as to what is their kind of canon. You know,
yeah, because they changed one thing here about Ted Grant, and I don't think that's the way it used to be. I don't want to get too much into it because the book's really good, so you should read it.
It's a very good
but
book.
Yeah,
it's very good.
It'll read very good at the collection. I'm actually working on a video for this since I just read it this weekend. So
yeah, and I do like that everybody. It was a sanctioned fight between Lady Shiva and Black Canary that takes place throughout the thing, and everybody's watching. Like you see Batman watching it from the Batcave, and
Green Arrow has like a party.
Has a party.
Like a bunch of
Everybody's there. Yeah. I read the newest issue of Birds of Prey. I wonder if Kelly Thompson is wrapping up her thing, because this takes a pretty big, like they kind of amp up the stakes in this comic, and then they go through. They've had a lot of birds kind of come in and out, like characters coming in and out of this book, and this one they're like, oh, we're calling everybody back in.
That's what I was gonna say. I haven't read that one, but I was like, I would like it to end with like all the people that we've seen throughout the run coming together for one big thing.
It feels like that's what's about to happen. So I'm wondering if she's not going to wrap this up within the next.
Either I've read
issues.
enough comics to know that, or I should start writing comics. One of the two.
Right. Godzilla Heist number 3, I think 3 or 4.
Yeah,
3. It's okay. It's a little.
I'm waiting for. I think it's going to read better altogether.
It's one of those ones where I'm like, oh, okay, I see where you're going with this. This is creepy as hell. Absolute Superman number 7. We get introduced to this universe's Brainiac, who is creepy as hell looking.
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about with a Peacemaker appearance, but it's a different Peacemaker from the Absolute.
Yeah, this is what the Absolute Brainiac sort of looks like.
You get the secret origin of this Brainiac, and it's freaking insane. Like,
oh really?
Yeah, I don't know. Jason Aaron is just doing some really wild shit with this one.
I love his stuff.
It's so good, Clay. Well, soon enough, it should be the first. So this is a prologue for the first arc. So the first arc should be out relatively soon in trade paperback too, so people can catch up.
Yeah. The Moon is Following Us issue number 9. This is the second to last issue, and Daniel Warren Johnson just like to kind of tease you that you're going to like your heart is going to be hurting at some point.
If your heart had balls, he would be kicking them.
Right. That's what he likes to do.
That should be on a jet, like a promo for the book.
Guys, I'm gonna send the clip to Image and then Warren Johnson, see if they want to use that for the cover.
Yes.
Absolute Green Lantern number 2, continuing with the Absolute Universe. It's still reading more like a science fiction horror story more than anything else.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Yeah, because we don't know, and this whole interaction with Abin Sur that kicks off the thing. We're finding out it takes, that takes place over the course of, I guess, a couple of days. I don't know.
Yeah, it looks
I'm
like.
Still finding out.
I love the design of Abin Sur because it reminds me of Majin Buu from Dragon Ball.
Oh yeah.
But you guys don't like anime, so
we wouldn't know. And then this Hello Darkness.
Clay only likes really sad anime.
That is true. That is true.
He doesn't like any of the fun battle ones. He just wants to see.
I loved Robotech, but Robotech it was weird because as a kid, it had like it was the American interpretation of like 3 different shows. And when they had death in it, I was like, 10 going, what? Like they killed a cartoon character. He's dead. He'll never come back. They won't reset every episode. Like I have to know this episode to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
Bro, imagine watching the Optimus Prime get killed on the big screen.
Yeah. Like I'm glad I wasn't, knee deep in Transformers like everyone else. I was trying to find anime when I was a kid and it was hard to find.
This is the Hello Darkness that I picked up. And I just want to show you.
Did you see the Jenny Frizen? Is your Jenny Frizen in there? The Jenny Frizen cover with the 2 tongues?
Yeah, I haven't read it. And I don't know what's going on. But that is just fucking gnarly. Like, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, let me see. Who's the artist on this story? The first one, Granny Hags from Hell by Drakmorda Bole and Swantha Bole with art by Max Fuchs. Max Fuchs can draw
what's the book called?
From Hello Darkness. It's the IDW the Boom horror anthology. Their answer to the Tales from what's the
it's like a Tales from the Crypt. EC Comics horror. It's I don't remember. We don't listen. This was the Jenny Frizen. There.
Yes. Oh, holy good.
Hello, Darkness.
God, these are. I'm just.
Epithets from the Abyss. Epithets from the Abyss. I was nowhere close to the right title.
There's a cute Dan Abnett story in this called A Friend of Mine.
Yeah.
Dan Abnett and Jeff Stokely. It's a really fun little.
And you get these nice little comic strip from Hack as well, like just 1-page little comics.
Oh, that's good.
But this is a $6. Like as I was reading through this, I was like, because I think I said this last time. Like these anthology books, I'm like, I don't know, I might just start trade waiting on them and stop getting individual issues. And I'm like, this is a $6 comic, so this one's definitely on the chopping block.
Wow.
Yeah, it's I mean, you get a lot for your buck, but it's also like, what if you don't like one story? Then you're like, you paid $6 for a book where you only like 2/3 of it.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people on the book, so like I understand why it's a high cost. I'm just like, I don't know.
With anthologies, I'm just looking for the best story. I never figure I'm going to like every one of them. So it's always like, oh, I bought this for this story. This is the one worth reading.
That's fair enough. Fair enough. All right. Was that it, Jeff?
That's all I got. All
right. Let me go through the rest of the stuff that I read. Some of the stuff, I'll go through it quickly because I have a lot of videos for this. So I want you guys to go watch these. But I read Free Planet #1. And then yesterday, I went to Zeus because I was doing some Star Wars stuff. And they had this really nice shiny cover for it. And I'm like, well, wish I had seen that one before I bought the other one. So there, I have two of those now. And then also, we got a new Star Wars this week. Alex Segura, Phil Noto. This all takes place after Return of the Jedi, with great Phil Noto art. But then Titan, I picked up this Luke Skywalker because this is probably my favorite version of Luke with the black outfit. Yeah, he just looks so cool. Like in Return of the Jedi is probably when he looks the coolest, just aesthetically. And then when I was at Zeus, I saw that they had the Pepe Larraz cover, and I was like, well, shit.
Oh, jeez, man.
Yeah, I know.
Awesome.
Yeah, I love going to Zeus because they have a lot of cool stuff, but they also have a lot of cool stuff. So, you know.
Yeah, they get those covers that some stores don't get.
Yeah, some stores don't get.
And you're like looking at it's like $25, but that cover.
Yeah. There was also a Fantastic Four fanfare #1. This is an anthology book. It contains a story by Mark Waid.
Did you read it?
Yeah, it's okay.
I totally forgot to pick it up, and I'm like, should I go back and get it, or I don't know.
the Mark Waid story is so much fun that I think it makes the book all of it worth getting the book.
Yeah.
But yeah, not once again, as I mentioned, sometimes with anthologies you kind of take a risk. But like Clay said, like, you know, as long as you like, you know, you got a big story out of it, like, it works. So, another book that I reviewed on the channel, Blood and Thunder #1. This is really cool. I'll give you the synopsis in a second. God, where's the camera? There we go. And I picked up this cover at Zeus yesterday. So this person here, she's a bounty hunter in this future where aliens have been integrated and live on Earth. Earth is divided on levels, very similar to the way you see them on the Fifth Element, where it's like tiers, and as you get down, it's like, you know, the poorest people live at the bottom. But she's a bounty hunter there with a sentient gun whose name is Thunder. So she's blood. The gun is Thunder. Yeah, it's a very cool premise. Robert Kirkman and the team had kind of come up with this idea like before The Walking Dead exploded, and then Robert Kirkman got real busy. But yeah, this is written by Benito Sereno and E.J. Sue. But it was created by all three of them. So Robert Kirkman doesn't write on the book, but this was kind of like, you know, he's pushing this because it was an original idea from a long, long time ago. It's really fun.
Can you imagine being those like they're like, yeah, we'll get to your thing. Just let me get through this Walking Dead.
Let me wrap up this little Walking Dead.
Yeah. We'll get to it as soon as Walking Dead's over.
There's a letter in the back. There's a letter in the back that Kirkman writes about the story and everything, what happened with that timeline. And so he mentions like, yeah, I like we were about to do this book, and then the TV show started, and obviously he got real busy with all that. So, also something we read last week that we talked about, Captain Planet #1, Christian Ward cover, the main cover. We have a full review for that on the channel. Actually, the most viewed review for this week. So thank you guys for watching that. It's like over 400 views or something.
He's a hero.
I clipped it out. Yeah, I guess a lot of people love Captain Planet. And then the last thing that I read, Batgirl #7 with Isaac Goodar on art. This is his cover. The main reason I picked it up was because he was now in the book for this arc. So, and then a few other things that I haven't read, but I'm going to probably after this. Amadeus Cho, his anniversary issue from Marvel. I can't believe Amadeus Cho is almost 20 years now as well.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Ultimate Wolverine #5 continues. I hope it continues to kick ass, but the last issue was really good. The Space Quest #1, which we didn't get to talk about, and I haven't read, but I think I did share that with everybody. So if you want to check it out, Resurrection Man #2. What is Quantum Karma? This one's really good, but I think it's gonna be better all at the end. But Ramby is doing some like. Let me just show you some art.
Yeah, because I was curious. I was like, that seems like a Vertigo type title.
It feels like it. It feels like it, but just the art is incredible in this thing. So yeah, I picked up this cover for Amazing Spider #3 just because I really like the cover. Seemed really cool.
Is that the Joe Kelly?
No, it's Joe Kelly's writing. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I haven't read that one, but I like the first two, so I'm kind of on board. X-Men, which like Jeff mentioned, maybe on the chopping block. And then I picked up this blank cover for All-Star Superman, the reprint from Superman, because like I said, Zeus had so many cool things. I picked up some variant covers for Naruto and Turtles. And the last thing,
I need to go to Zeus. I haven't been to Zeus in forever.
Just make sure that your credit card can afford it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is,
the last time I've been to
often.
Zeus, I think Zeus moved. I don't know if they have or not. Though I went to Zeus like it must have been like 10, 15 years ago.
Lemon,
it was
when
like
they were still in Lemon Avenue.
Yeah,
I think probably when they were still in Lemon. Yeah, definitely when they're still off of Lemon. And so I went, and I was like, it was such a small store that it seemed like almost like a comic boutique.
Oh, it's
yeah.
And I just recently saw like a picture, and I was like, oh, they've got boxes. And they're like, before it was just like, here's a statue and
I mean,
like a little thing, and now it feels
the
like
main
it's like a
feel,
real
the
comic
front of the
shop.
store still has that very boutique kind of feel, but they also now have a big back issue section. They have a big thing of collection, and in the end, yeah, I don't go very
Okay, yeah, I
often, but
definitely need to go.
yesterday we had a tournament for Star Wars Unlimited at Common Grounds, which is the reason we didn't stream. So Common Grounds is right next to Zoos. So one of the rounds I lost very quickly, like because these are 50-minute rounds. I mean, it's okay. I ended up with a record of 4-3, so I did pretty well. But yeah, I lost in like 20 minutes, and I was like, well, I'm not gonna sit here for 30 minutes not doing anything. I'm gonna go to Zoos and just check out their stuff before they close. And I was also looking for a cover for the next book I'm about to show you, which I couldn't find. But I don't know if you guys knew, Heavy Metal is back. Heavy Metal #1 came out this week. I picked up this cover by, who's this one by?
Great Nyborg, man.
Yeah. I forget the name. Oh, Janevsky. I was looking for the Tula Lotte cover, which unfortunately the shops were sold out of. Yeah, they didn't have it. But there's so many, like, look at all the artists that are in this thing. It's a $15 book, but like it's so big. There's so much going on. Yeah, I can't wait to dive into this.
Are they
I'm gonna
doing it annually or quarterly?
I believe quarterly. I need to check because I believe this came out of a Kickstarter that they did or some kind of crowdfunding campaign.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't know, but I'm gonna try to reach out to the heavy metal people to see if we can get on their list if they're doing that. If they do any
please
of that
and
stuff.
thank you, man. I
That'd be
fucking
so
love
cool.
heavy metal. Heavy metal for me as a kid introduced me to Mobius, to so many artists, European artists you just didn't know. Oh my God. Like I just love heavy metal.
And because it's a magazine, like I don't know how the Joker's in here. I haven't read what the article is. That it's probably about somebody that worked on Joker at some point. But it's like an actual magazine too, right? So it's got the anthologies and it's got, like Playboy, it has the articles that you can read. And I guess like Playboy, there's topless women here somewhere.
Yeah, there's going to be a boob or 2 or 3.
A boob or 2 or 3, yeah. Sometimes all on the same person. So, but yeah, that was cool. That was really cool. So I can't wait to dive into heavy metal. All right, that's all I had there as far as comics, and I think we're doing all right. But how? Anything else you guys want to chat about? Because otherwise, we can wrap up here. I'm good.
No, I was just curious who owned heavy metal because I know, like within the past few years, they've talked about declaring bankruptcy. So I'm surprised that they're actually doing print stuff, and that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm very excited that it's, even if it's just quarterly or like couple of times a year, whatever the case may be. I'm excited because it's different. It introduces you to so many, like half of those names on the back, or maybe more than half. I don't know who they are, but I'm very excited to figure out who they are. So
yeah.
All
right.
right.
I think if you're going to gamble on indie comics, like, you may end up buying a $5 and a $6 book and get introduced to like, a new writer, a new artist, but spending $15 on a heavy metal book and all those artists and writers, and you're going to get introduced to just a flood of people you've never seen. And again, like with anthologies, I always go, what's the best stuff in here? And and the art is always going to surprise you. That's what I always love about heavy metal.
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I remember like seeing some of the names that worked on heavy metal stuff, and I'm like, what? And I think Tim Seeley edited for a while. I think Grant Morrison edited for a while. Like they were editor-in-chief as well. So yeah. So
oh wow. Okay. Like over at the heavy metal site, you can buy like Peach Momoko doing Tarnia, the girl that's kind of the heavy metal mascot in a way that's in the movie, like $30 for a Peach Momoko print of her. It's amazing.
Ooh, don't Clay.
Now he knows. Now he knows.
I know. I am gonna go to the website to try to reach out.
Speaking of money spending, so next week is I sent you guys in the Discord the Awesome Comics and this is good for public information too for them, I'm
Oh
sure.
yeah.
Awesome Comics has a 2 sites if you're in the Dallas area, and one of them is like is not their comic shop, but just an off-site that they throw open the doors every couple of weeks, and it's just like a bunch of dollar boxes of comics, and that is next weekend. But then I was looking at I know that the fan expo is at the end of this month down in Dallas, but there's also I wasn't gonna go because I'm in the middle of cataloging my collection, and so I don't really know what I'm looking like. I'm kind of like in this, I kind of don't know what I have, sort of, because I used to keep it on a spreadsheet, but I stopped updating the spreadsheet when I moved over to CLZ. So it's just a matter of like trying to finish scanning everything. So I kind of like sort of know what half of my collection is. I don't know what the other, like I kind of have a vague idea of the other half. So I'd like to start to finish the scanning before like deep collecting.
Sure.
But also that weekend, there's something called the Oddities and Curiosities, or Curiosities and Oddities Expo, also at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Center, and that's like full of like gothy taxidermied thing. Like that expo is like one of those, like you get dragon heads and like squirrel skulls and weird goth things, and like, so I'm like, it's going to be the weirdest but best combination of group for that weekend at the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Center, of like comic people and then just like gothy, like I don't know, steampunk people. Like it's like the same group but like different smells.
Great, more weirdos.
yeah. And I'm like, what a weird like double booking for the Kay Bailey Hutchinson Center. I do want to go to the Oddities and Curiosities Expo because I really want some taxidermy animals.
Okay, well, I should be at the Dallas Fan Expo, so if you see me there at some point, I'm looking at
I'm looking at the fan experiences, and I just saw the John Cena experience that you can pay.
Can you see it?
$800 for
to not see him.
Yeah.
Well, he's a villain now, Clay. He's a heel now, so he's
Yeah.
gonna cost more.
I saw that, and
Peacemaker to me.
I really thought about it because I was like, this is his last year that he's wrestling.
Well, what do you get for $800?
It guarantees you meeting him pretty much.
Reserved seating to the John Cena Live.
Right.
One fully loaded autograph of an item of your choice, quote and character name included. Best selfie ever with the legendary John Cena. Don't forget your camera because you have to supply that. And limited edition John Cena lanyard. $800 for a good seat, a lanyard, a pic, and an autograph.
I mean, I get it because he's in demand, right? Both on the wrestling and then on the like movie and TV side. So I don't blame him for getting that money. But yeah, no, I'm not doing it. I really thought about it though. I was like, shit, but no.
Wait, is there anybody you would pay $800 for alive? Like you can't bring. Of course, you could bring somebody back from the dead, but that would be an easy. So no, they have to be alive.
If it helped me avoid the hassle, like maybe Mark Hamill, because I think it's impossible to meet Mark Hamill at this point.
I mean, if Bruce Willis, if he was in a better state of mind, like back when he was, that I would have paid that much to do a Bruce Willis thing. But I just don't know if there's anyone else I would pay that much money for, like very minimal exposure to like that.
Yeah, I'm just like, can we have dinner?
Yeah, because like I was looking at they have a Back to the Future experience, and I'm like looking for a price on there, and their gold ticket is $139.
Yeah.
And that's with the DeLorean, and you get to go back to 1965 with Michael J. Fox for 3 minutes.
Yeah, it doesn't even really give you details of what's included in that.
No, I think they're trying to figure out like Well, I think it's hard probably with Michael J. Fox as well to like really plan out, right? Because you don't know like how much stuff, and also Christopher Lloyd, he's an older person as well, so like you need to first figure out, okay, how many people are signing up for this thing, and then we can try to work out on the schedule. It's like, so, yeah.
Holy shit. They have a lot of good guests, and I hate that I kind of would want to go to see Parker Posey, but it's weird that Parker Posey's a guest at Fan Expo.
Well, she would be fun to meet.
Yeah, Walton Goggins. I would pay quite a bit for Walton Goggins. I might pay $500.
I'm gonna so there's not, I don't really go for the celebrities, but Goggins was one that I might go for, and then some of the, I would like to meet Tom Welling as well, just to kind of meet another Superman, because I got to meet a couple at the last thing.
Well, they sell a Smallville experience.
Yeah, no, I don't care for the experiences. I'm okay with just getting a selfie at their table if that's what they're doing.
If I had the cash, I would pay $800 for Leah Thompson.
Oh,
Leah Thompson. Yeah. I would pay. Frank Grillo would be somebody I would pay. He would be up in the Bruce Willis money too. I would pay like probably $500.
John Bernthal.
Oh wow.
But I need him to scream at me.
Rob Schneider's going to be at this.
He has to pay you.
He goes around and pays you to take pictures with him.
I need John Bernthal to tell me, you can't protect her, Rick.
Oh, Felicia Day. I love Felicia Day.
Yeah.
She's great.
There's a lot of which it's cool that there's a lot of cool people, but it's going to make it a mess, especially with this other weirdo convention in there.
I'm telling you.
Keith David, I would pay quite a bit of money. Yeah, I would probably pay $500 for him too. He is
awesome. I'm looking at I do have the website pulled up for Awesome Comics and their other location. It's actually relatively close to my house. So I might go to that. Maybe not this time. Well, you said it's next week?
It's the next weekend.
Next weekend. I might go to that.
I dropped it.
But it's the way they have it, because it's on Regal Row and 35. It says right off of I-35 and Regal Row, next to the 24-hour poker house and the Whataburger. What the hell is the 24-hour poker house?
I would think that would be illegal.
Yeah, but they seem to advertise it just fine.
Yeah, but I know you can go to a lot of places around Dallas and gamble on machines that are very illegal, and they'll break up and bust.
I know that area. It's a little shady. The poker house is redefining the poker experience with never before seen amenities, including a fully private VIP enclave. What the hell does that mean? A BYOB and a culture that welcomes every member as honored guests. Poker House is the premier members only poker social club in Texas. Oh, maybe that's how they get around the gambling stuff, because you have to be a member.
Yeah, that was the way they used to have drinking. Like you had to join a membership to be able to drink at places, because Texas just can't get it together.
Oh, that's crazy. They have a membership tab on their website, but this says the form is not available. It's not viewable to the public.
Yeah,
so like you probably have to be invited in or something.
You have to know the secret knock.
Let's see, $10 daily, $13 hourly, $30 monthly, $300 annually for a membership.
Not a bad deal. We can get one for the team here.
I guess if you get a poker, I don't.
It used to be a strip club. I mean, I believe it in that area. But
I think that
Chad is saying that it used to be a strip club.
I think I know what strip club that used to be, Carlos. Did I ever visit? I don't remember. Maybe. I went to that office. I would always see that building. Yeah. Right. That's how he knew. Okay. I mean, it looks actually the pictures inside look pretty nice. I don't know how they get around the gambling thing, but maybe just the membership part, and I don't know. Like those coin machines at the store, like the quarter machines. That you're doing it for the candy on top or whatever, right? You can put a coin and get the candy. That's right. Carlos' job is down the street. I'm looking at the map right now. So All right. Do you guys have anything else? If not, we can get out of here and I can get back to Ghost Protocol.
Figure out if Tom Cruise gets out of it.
Will he
I'm
make it?
excited. I want to try to go watch Fight or Flight or Flight, whatever that new movie is with a blonde Josh Hartnett.
Oh, the chainsaw?
No. It's like a plane movie. Like he's on a plane, trapped on a plane.
Yeah, but I see this. Every time I see the ad, it shows him with a chainsaw.
How they get a chainsaw on a plane? I feel like you can't even bring a nail clipper now.
As long as there's not more than 3 ounces of gas on the chainsaw, it's fine.
Oh, okay. It's an electric chainsaw.
It's an electric chainsaw. It's fine.
Oh, Katie Sackhoff is in this?
Yeah, it looked interesting. I think Friendship is also out this week, maybe.
Oh, I want to see that so badly.
I know. Yeah.
There's a new Marvel out that's supposed to be nuts. We should go see that.
Sorry, Jeff, I cut you off. I heard starting to talk, but then it mutes you when I hit the button.
Yeah, I was just like, all right.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, thanks for joining me, you two. I know it was a kind of last minute, and hope you guys had a good time.
Yeah.
Flip out the Peacemaker part out because that might demonetize the video, but I'll put it up again as a standalone video so you guys can watch just Jeff's reaction.
Warner Brothers, let us advertise your stuff for God's sakes. Quit copyrighting it. We just want to hype James.
This will be my thumbnail for like reactions. Like,
there you go. Yeah, I need you to send me a few. Just send me a few.
Just do the shots. Home Alone stuff.
People are just gonna start photoshopping Jeff into things now. Like they're gonna put Jeff in some of those pictures from 9/11.
Oh Jesus!
In the background. Not that. I don't think that look. Cool. All right. Well, also Jeff, you had a birthday this week, right?
It was on Monday.
Happy birthday, man!
Happy belated birthday.
Thanks.
Send Jeff something nice. Get on Patreon, and then we'll pass along.
Yeah.
The gift.
Buy me a piece of cake.
Or if Jeff has a wish list, God, you can't even make an Amazon list anymore because fuck them. But is there any other website? Where are you registered? Babies R Us, Jeff? Toys R Us?
Yeah.
Babies R Us,
KB Hobby Toy Store.
I'm registered at Costco. I just registered at Costco to get all the essential necessary things from a company that's still socially responsible. So
I registered at Hallmark and one of those places you get the sausages.
Just registered on Awesome Comics.
Yeah, exactly.
Just tell the owner you want to pay for his poll this week.
That would be it.
All right,
so good.
Cool. Well, thanks everyone. I hope you guys have a good time. This week we have videos coming up for a lot of the comics that are coming out this week, including Exquisite Killers, which you guys should read. I put it on the box. It's the new James Tynion book.
Ooh.
It's pretty fucking cool. I read it last night. It's really cool. And then we'll obviously more Last of Us 2 coverage. And then whatever else we get, we'll see. And then we'll try to do a Thunderbolts show. We're just trying to get Josh to watch the movie. So that may happen sooner rather than later. So, all right. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.
The most important thing in life will always be...
Oh, hold on. And we are like 8 people away from 4,000 subscribers. So if you're watching this late in the game, hit the subscribe button. Get that other Google account that you use for spam and subscribe with that one as well. So all right, now we're really leaving. Yeah. Bye, everyone.
The most important thing in life will always be...
Hey, Bebo.
Twitter loves you.
Simon Center, get the fuck out.
All right. Bye.
Get out of here, you weirdo.